Ohio.
I think that every time someone brings up Giga Wrecker, they're always going to make mention of Pokemon as a point of reference. I mean, how could you not? This is a title made by the developers of the core Pokemon game, GameFreak. I mean, when you're looking at the purchasing screen on the Switch eShop, the publishers even make sure to let you know that on the first dot of the key features. Discover a brand new, exciting 2D action adventure from the legendary Japanese developer GameFreak. Well, of course, with a tagline like that, I gotta see what this game is like. Besides the visuals also giving it an interesting aesthetic, it's a game made by GameFreak, who really only ever work on Pokemon. And some people have said that this game looks very indie, and of course it does. GameFreak is always working on Pokemon, so if there's a small band within the company working on a side project, it's not going to look crazy intense. And with that, it brings me to the main point of this video. This news headline dropped last week on Wednesday saying that GameFreak will prioritize their other work ahead of Pokemon. And of course, most people on the internet freaked out because, as we know, we only read headlines or something like that. And in this case, it seems like the headlines did make it easy for people to freak out. But if you open up any of the articles, what GameFreak really means to say is that the company wants to give their employees the opportunity to go in on their other projects hard so that they can take those experiences and ideas and bring them back to Pokemon. Which is a great idea. If you're only doing the same thing in the same way forever, there's only so many ways it can be done from different perspectives before it becomes boring. This is the reason that actors go off and make movies outside of their comfort zone, or musicians will go off and make some off the beat sounding record in a different genre, so that when it's time to come back to their main gig, they come back revitalized alongside with some new ideas from their other work. So when I heard this news about GameFreak, and then later on I seen the new screenshot for their new IP, Town, surface the internet, I was very much excited at the prospect of trying out Town. And I also got excited to see what ideas from Town will make it onto Pokemon Sword and Shield. And so incidentally, at the same time that all of this news drops, I'm scrolling through the eShop sales tab, and what do I see go on sale? Giga Wrecker Alt. Oh man, I mean, with GameFreak being in the news and then this game going on sale, I just had to try it. And I won't go into too much depth, but the game is a 2D Metroidvania style game, and while those types of games aren't really my jam, this still managed to get me sucked in. All with the idea that this is a GameFreak game ringing in the back of my head. And of course, discover a brand new exciting 2D action adventure from the legendary Japanese developer GameFreak. This game feels pretty standard fare for a Metroidvania type game, but where it really gets me is in the boss fights. I struggle to find the patterns, but once I get it down, it feels very rewarding to beat the boss. Well, I've only beat the first boss. And at the time of this recording, I'm still struggling with the second boss. But anyways, it's definitely an interesting title, and until June 6th, it is on sale on the eShop, so I recommend checking it out. It's definitely not anything like the dungeon crawling in Pokemon, and it's, like I said, it's a Metroidvania style game. And speaking of Pokemon, this morning, again, at the time of this recording, Nintendo announced a new Pokemon Direct for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So that's something to look forward to. Like I said, GameFreak focusing their attention elsewhere for the sake of revitalizing their most important intellectual property is not a bad thing. It's a chance for the company to grow as artists and continue to bring us new and exciting Pokemon content. And if you think that this is GameFreak saying that they don't want to work on Pokemon anymore, I'm sorry, but it's silly to think that they will walk away from their most lucrative work. GameFreak could push out the dullest and most standard fare Pokemon game and people will still buy it. So at least the company is showing interest in making it more interesting, and I for one can't wait to see what that looks like. Hey guys, if you like this video and if you think that I made a valid point with GameFreak, then why not hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Comment down below if you play Giga Wrecker and what are your thoughts on it. And if you haven't, then let me know if you plan on picking it up or picking up Town, or what do you look forward to seeing in the next Pokemon Direct. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, cha.